Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In 5 months from now, we will have to decide on the fate of the nation for the next 5 years. We have to decide who will lead India and whose vision will shape our future. On the one hand, we have Prime Minister Narendra Modi, a two-time Prime Minister, three-time Chief Minister, 22 years in governing, experience in governing, powering through a Vikas pitch. On the other hand, you have the India Alliance, offering Sushasan model, with a twist, of course. Sample this. Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel is directly named by the ED, and the BJP is training guns for allegedly receiving rupees 508 crores in kickbacks from a betting scam. This as his state cast its mandate today in the first phase. And then you have the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, while he dodges summons from the Enforcement Directorate in the Liquor Gate scam. His generals now vow to run Delhi ki sarkar from the jail. That's the new governance model. Finally, it is Sushasan Babu, Nitish Kumar. Today, on the floor of the Assembly and the Parishad as well, he went into a graphic, awkward and completely unnecessary monologue on population control. This is an important challenge that India must address. But the words used by the Chief Minister Nitish Kumar reduced it to, I don't know what to call it, sexist, bad choice of words, completely embarrassing expressions, or a joke on the women who were part of the assembly, including his own minister sitting behind him, who was virtually having to cover her face because her leader was using expressions that clearly would not make any woman comfortable. While he gestured with his hands, he launched into a rant, misogynistic or otherwise. I don't even know. You can't beep any of those words because the words themselves are not objectionable, but the manner in which this led to a woman BJP legislator also break down with embarrassment. Such were the remarks that you, the viewer, must decide for yourselves whether these words are becoming a chief minister, or have they crossed that Lakshman Rekha, if one really existed. Listen in.
इसलिए अब सबको अगर पढ़वाएंगे तभी ना इसका होगा। अगर लड़की पढ़ जाएगी तो जानते हैं लड़का और लड़की का जो होता है शादी, तो लड़कवा तो रोज लड़कियां के साथ रतवा में सुतवे न करता है। अब उसी समय लड़की जो है कहती है कि ठीक है रात में करो, लेकिन अपना जो तुमको निकलने लगे तो बहरवा निकाल के बाहर फेंक दो। लड़की सब अब सबको समझा रही है, जरा जान लीजिए, लड़की सबको समझाती है।
Now, what do you say to that? What do you just say to those expressions, those words? Perhaps what's worse than the statement made by the Chief Minister are the remarks by the Deputy Chief Minister Tejasvi Yadav trying to justify it. But first, listen in to how a woman MLC broke down into tears after Nitish Kumar's comments.
Never can Bihar women forgive him, this person, because आज उन्होंने अपनी पूरी मर्यादा को शर्मसार कर दिया है। जो विषय पर्दे के पीछे होता है वो सारी दुनिया जानती है। आज का युवा तो यूट्यूब और सारे मोबाइल्स हाथ में आपके, कौन नहीं जानता है सेक्सुअल? किसको पढ़ा रहे हैं आप?
जो भी मुख्यमंत्री का बयान आया जो सेक्स एजुकेशन के बारे में, और जब भी सेक्स एजुकेशन की बात की जाती है तो इसके लोग जो है शर्माते हैं, लोगों को बचना चाहिए। तो स्कूलों में पढ़ाई होती है, साइंस बायोलॉजी, ये तो स्कूलों में पढ़ाई होती है। उनका कहने का मतलब आबादी कंट्रोल है क्या? प्रैक्टिकली बात जो भी आपने उन्होंने अपना बात किया, तो इससे लोगों को गलत तरीका में नहीं लेना चाहिए।
गलत तरीका में नहीं लेना चाहिए। It's all right. It's sex education, like biology. Now let's present the second challenger to the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, Arvind Kejriwal. With his aides either jailed or out on bail, the Chief Minister fears it may be his turn next. Remember, he's under the ED's lens in the Liquorgate scam, and now his mantris vow that he will continue to run the Sarkar, even if it means that cabinet meetings and files have to go to the jail. Listen.
विधायक दल की एक मत आवाज थी, एक मत राय थी कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को चाहे मोदी सरकार गिरफ्तार भी कर ले, लेकिन उन्हें दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री पद से इस्तीफा नहीं देना चाहिए। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री हैं, चाहे उन्हें जेल भेज दिया जाए, वो दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री रहेंगे। हम कोर्ट से कहेंगे कि जब मुख्यमंत्री जेल में हैं तो अधिकारियों को भी जेल जाना पड़ेगा।
तो षड्यंत्र से आपको मुख्यमंत्री के पद से हटाने की ये साजिश है और हमको इस ट्रैप में नहीं आना है। दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री आप ही रहेंगे, चाहे जमीन पे, आसमान में, पाताल में, जुडिशियल कस्टडी में, पुलिस कस्टडी में, तिहाड़ जेल में, और जैसे भी हो सरकार जेल से चलेगी।
अगर केजरीवाल जी को जेल में डालते भी हैं तो सरकार आप जेल से चला लेना। केजरीवाल जी, सरकार आप जेल से चला लेना, लेकिन आप रिजाइन मत करना।
Now the next big satrap of India bloc, Bhupesh Baghel, today as Chhattisgarh goes to the vote, has been named by the ED as a beneficiary of the Mahadev betting scam. But watch out how the graft taint has been dismissed by the Chief Minister as poll time vendetta by the BJP.
लोक सभा तक रुकेंगे सर, ये क्या I.N.D.I.A लोक सभा तक रुकेंगे, अभी चले जाएंगे विचार सर?
नहीं, अभी ब्रेक लेंगे थोड़ा, 17 तारीख बाद फिर ब्रेक लेंगे, क्योंकि भाई उसके भी बाल बच्चे हैं यार, है ना, थोड़ा छुट्टी लेके फिर लोकसभा पहले फिर आएंगे।
Making a joke out of agencies' visits, saying that after the elections for states, they'll take a break for a while and then come back before the Lok Sabha elections. And finally, Prime Minister Modi, his message to the nation was clear and unambiguous as he said that those who have looted India will rot in jail. Watch him attack 30% Kaka and Khule Aam Satta. Listen in to the Prime Minister speaking in a poll rally.
मुख्यमंत्री कार्यालय यहां सट्टेबाजों का अड्डा कैसे बना हुआ था? ये 30% कक्का खुले आम सट्टा चला रहे थे। आज यहां के मुख्यमंत्री के करीबी जेल में बंद है। ये आरोप इतने गंभीर है, सबूत इतने सटीक है कि कांग्रेस से अपने मुख्यमंत्री का बचाव करना भी मुश्किल हो गया है। आपको मैं गारंटी देता हूं, महादेव सट्टेबाजी घोटाले में भाजपा दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी करके रहेगी। आपके बच्चों को बर्बाद करने वाले ऐसे लोगों को जेल जाकर के जिंदगी पूरी करनी पड़ेगी।
So, ladies and gentlemen, the legitimate question we're asking on the Newshour tonight, is this the India model of Susashan? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the Newshour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining me on the debate tonight, GVL Narasimha Rao, Member of Parliament and National Spokesperson of the BJP, Karan Verma, author, Ravi Srivastava, Political Analyst, Sanjay Jha, author and suspended Congress leader, Ashutosh, Senior Journalist, Political Analyst. But my first question goes to Suhail Seth, columnist, marketing guru. And Suhail Seth, you're a man of words. You're good at giving headlines, giving, short expressions to, advertising people. I want to ask you, sex education, Nitish Kumar style, was that right? Was that wrong?
I think it was atrocious. It was misplaced. And, he's going to get flack for this from time immemorial. There's always a place to say these things. And then the defense itself was so ridiculous.
I mean, all that needed to have been done was she should have just said, okay, it was said in passing or whatever. But that's not the issue. The issue is, and we've discussed this on your program several times, the political discourse in the public domain has worsened from day to day. Who's responsible? I don't know. Is everyone responsible? Perhaps. To blame it on one person and not the other is a bit ridiculous. But the tragedy, Navika, is there are young people who are watching this, may not be on just television, on their mobile devices. They're seeing these kind of atrociously irresponsible comments, not only from Nitish Kumar, but I'm saying across the board. Is this the India you want people to respect? Is this the aspirational India you want the young to look up to? You very eloquently in your opening remarks talked about the Baghels, the Kejriwals. For Atishi, who's supposedly intelligent and not intellectually innocent, and the other gentleman whose name I couldn't fathom, to say Kejriwal will run a government from jail, is he Mahatma Gandhi? Is he fighting for freedom, or is he fighting as a freedom fighter for anything that's free? Is this what you want to set out as rule of law? That if you're indicted for crimes, you will go to jail and then run a government from there? And then tell people that bureaucrats and officers will come to the jail? What about the citizen? Where does the citizen go in all of this? Suppose you and I have an issue with the government, where do we go? Do we tell our children, do we tell people that, look, I have to meet the chief minister, I want to petition the chief minister, but that poor chap is in jail?
No, so we'll go to jail. We'll take a petition to jail.
But that in itself shows the ridiculousness of I.N.D.I.A. Even my good friend Ashutosh will not be able to condone this, even though he has a murky past. Thank God he was wise enough to get out from that one particular party and start his own, podcasts. And now he's an intellectual. He might have been in for some liquor scam also. Can you imagine? Poor Ashutosh, who doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, would have been inside for a liquor scam. But jokes apart, what are we engendering in our country, Navika? On the one hand, and I'm no supporter of the BJP, let me be blatantly clear. I don't care about any political party. Their job is to serve the people. But do these people in the opposition think they will be a match for Modi? They won't. Is Modi or the BJP accused of using agencies? Yes, but what are the agencies finding? They're not finding pastries and confectionery items. In Partho Chatterjee's house, they found 73 crores, right? In Baghel's case, if they're saying that there is a Mahadev scandal, let them come. The courts of law have refused bail to Mr. Sisodia, as much as the Supreme Court of India. So, for God's sake, let's not say that the opposition is being witch hunted. All oppositions believe that they are being witch hunted. And if they are, take recourse to the courts. They've gone to the courts. Manish Sisodia and his compatriot, Mr. Jain, have knocked the doors of the court several times. We all know it.
True.
But nothing has happened.
And I want to ask Dr. Sanjay Jha, isn't this the theater of the absurd? On the one side, we have a chief minister who can't solve the pollution problems of Delhi, who gets wrapped by the Supreme Court, but who's so busy. He cares nothing about the citizens who have elected him, but he's worried on where the government is going to run from, which is from the jail, and a moral high ground on that one. And secondly, you have a chief minister who purportedly is being called that he was doing sex education to whom? To adults and old members of the Legislative Assembly inside the Assembly. And if anybody finds his speech objectionable, they can't even go to a court of law because you have a protection. You're inside the Assembly. You are the chief minister. I'm asking you, isn't this absurd completely, Sanjay Jha, the level to which justification of this kind of politics takes place? And is this the governance model that India is going to have to lump?
Navika, you have raised certain very pertinent questions. As far as the India alliance is concerned, and I will emphasize again and again, is India alliance. You're right. The theater of the absurd is actually manifested best by the Prime Minister himself. Here is a man who is grandstanding on corruption and malfeasance when his own government has been voted out of power in Karnataka for being called a 40% Sarkara. Here is a man who's waxing eloquent on corruption when his dear chummy friend has witnessed a market meltdown of over $100 billion. That is the talk of the entire global financial community. It will be a basket case of crony capitalism, which will be discussed for years and decades to come. The Prime Minister of the world's largest democracy and the fastest growing business empire in the world. Third example, here is a government and a Prime Minister who gives gyan on corruption, which goes to the Supreme Court of India, Navika, and says the public, the citizens of the country, the viewers of your popular program Times Now, the panelists here, do not have a right to know who funds political parties. My friend Suhail is a very seasoned guy. He lives in Delhi. He understands the entire mechanism of how corporate business politics works. Here is the truth. We all know it, that corruption in India will never go away until the people of this country don't know transparently as to who funds political parties, because that is where the quid pro quo deals happen. We have become so normalized to this corruption that we are okay with that. Sab kuch chalta hai, wo bhi chalega. Now, here is the truth. If the government, Navika, says so into the Supreme Court, it is basically telling the people of India, Narendra Modi and his team is telling the people of India, guys, get ready, भ्रष्टाचार कहीं नहीं जाने वाला है. उसको आप नजरदार करें या नाकार करें, उसका कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. ये तो देश का सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा है, इसको हम और बड़ा करेंगे.
संजय झा, I agree with everything you are saying. I agree with everything you are saying, but you're also taking 10% of the same electoral bonds which are non-transparent, number one. But that's not the debate today. That's not the debate. आप तो ऐसे बोल रहे जैसे आप इन सब से ऊपर हैं. आप आसमान से नीचे उतरे हैं. आपने कभी गंदा पैसा टच ही नहीं किया भाई. आप भी उसी इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड से ले रहे हैं और अपनी पार्टी चला रहे हैं. But that is not the debate. That's a debate for another day. I'm asking you two simple questions. Do you condone running of governments by a chief minister sitting in a jail? Yes or no? Simple. It's either right or it's wrong. There's nothing in between.
Navika, here is the point. I heard the AAP spokesperson say about Arvind Kejriwal. But can anybody on your program deny? And why is AAP not justified? I think the India Alliance is justified. When you have an independent investigation by the Indian Express, a highly respected newspaper, has established that out of the 129 cases between 2019 to 23, 95% of the cases are with the opposition leaders. You know, we have talked about that.
That is fine. That is also fine. I take your word for it that is also targeting of the opposition. But is it right to run a government from the jail? Yes or no?
Well, Navika, they are saying that according to them, Arvind Kejriwal is going to be targeted. I've heard BJP spokespersons on your program say it on the day Sanjay Singh was arrested. They said,
is it right for Nitish Kumar to have said what he said today? Is it right for Nitish Kumar to have said what he said today? Yes or no?
Navika, I'm just going to say that anybody who makes a comment on anybody which appears misogynistic, vulgar or crude, I will strongly condemn it in absolutely no uncertain terms.
Well,
but the larger
anybody who says, why are you speaking in third person? Dr. Sanjay Jha, I implore you, be direct. Was it right? Was it wrong? Was it vulgar? Was it not? Yes? No?
Yeah, okay, Navika, here I'll answer your question. It was wrong. But the spotless white kurta that my friend GVL is wearing from the great washing machine, that is not going to change the reality. That
Thank
India
God you at least responded to one question directly. Now you are jealous of the white kurta who hasn't even spoken a word. Well, he'll respond.
The great washing machine has cleaned it.
Well, okay. GVL Narasimha Rao. Kurta pink hai ke white hai? I can't make out. But GVL Narasimha Rao, please respond.
He agrees with me. He knows the truth. Ye LG Samsung ke baap hai.
I should have no difficulty today. Sanjay, can I? Yeah. Sanjay, we have a government headed by Prime Minister Modi ji for 9.5 years, and you the entire opposition cannot lay one charge against this government. They have wherever they tried to throw muck, they have realized what the courts have done to them. Rahul Gandhi had to apologize for uttering lies, and then he had to backtrack. I did not interject. No, Sanjay, please let me speak. I did not speak. Okay. Let me complete my statement. You can say whatever you want outside, but if your former party rather, if they have an iota of faith in what they are saying, they would have made the charges. The opposition is issueless, and today they are scared that their skeletons in the cupboard are coming out. In Prime Minister Modi, they have someone who is unsparing. He is given a free hand to all the agencies. So, and courts are monitoring all the cases. And you have the absurdity of Aam Aadmi Party saying that they will run government from jail. Chief Minister will run from jail. Ministers will go to them. I don't know. If you say this is wrong, Navika, tomorrow many of these ministers might actually want to commit a crime and then go to jail and request to be jailed together. All jail inmates can hold a cabinet meeting. I think this is the absurdity. The party which has claimed that they are here to cleanse Indian politics has completely muddied political waters, and they have no even a pretense of having a morality in politics. They have even given up that pretense today, and they are completely shameless and utterly bizarre. I think the Aam Aadmi Party has quick low, and Nitish Kumar seems to have become the alter ego of Lalu Yadav. I think he seems to be appeasing Lalu Yadav by making such crass comments in the legislature. You don't expect a chief minister on the floor of assembly when the matter is going on record. I hope the speaker or the chairman of the council, wherever he was speaking, will have the common sense. He will exercise that jurisdiction. He will exercise that restraint and delete these remarks at least from the records of the Vidhan Sabha. Otherwise, it will go down as a complete. It will go down as a very low in Indian legislature.
What's your counter? What's your counter, Sanjay Jha?
Yeah, Navika, since again GVL tried to give a long lecture on corruption and Modi ji, the honorable Modi ji, भैया जरा कैग का भी रिपोर्ट पढ़ लीजिएगा. हमने तो बता ही दिया 4-5 एग्जांपल. कैग ने 7.5 लाख करोड़ का आप पर घोटाला का आरोप लगाया है. और जानते हैं आपके घोटाले के बारे में क्यों कुछ नहीं हुआ है? क्योंकि आप लोग जो है ना तानाशाही लोग हैं. आप इतने कायर हैं. आपको हमने नहीं टोका था राउत साहब.
But it's true, GVL Narasimha Rao. 95% of the cases are against the opposition, and the ED, CBI, get their timing quite right before every election. And that question, the opposition is well within its rights to raise.
Can I counter?
Yes, please counter.
Can I counter just a brief counter?
Yes,
before 2014, what was the political agenda in this country? If you go back to your own debates between 2010 and 14, Navika, you will find that 95% of your debates on Times Now were about UPA corruption, about various scams. Commonwealth scam, 2G scam, every other scam. So, obviously, corruption at the national level has
I completely take your point that those scams had to be investigated, but GVL Narasimha Rao, what I can't believe is that you don't need to look at any of the BJP governments. That is a stretch, and that is something that you will also have to look within, but that's not again the debate tonight. And let me get in Ashutosh. Ashutosh, governance models. We are citizens of this country, and the viewers watching this show tonight are looking at the next 3 or 4 months on what are the options in front of them. Well, if you hear Dr. Sanjay Jha, well, the BJP is not a party you should go for. Okay, fair, that's his view. There will be people who agree with him, but there will be others who will be looking at what's the alternative. And the alternative that we are seeing, at least today, is an example. When I'm putting this in front of you, there is one chief minister who said what he said, vulgar comments, I'm not saying, we don't belong to the 19th or the 18th century where we don't want sex education. But to pass off those comments as sex education, I think is pushing your luck just too far, number one. And number two, you have another chief minister who has got all his MLAs to come and support कि आप तो भाई जेल से चलाइए, फाइलें वहां जाएंगी. In the middle of this, what is it that we are offering to the people of India as an alternative?
Navika, if Aam Aadmi Party statement is idiotic, stupid, ridiculous, bizarre, these are the words which in fact doesn't carry the weight. The fact of the matter is, here is a political party which came into the existence promising that they will cleanse the system. And this party is not in a position to even know that a chief minister has to resign before he has to go to the jail.
Absolutely.
And I'm really amazed. Who is the advisor? Who is advising these people? Are they constitutionally illiterate? Do they know anything about the constitution? A minister can stay in a jail. His department can be given responsibility to somebody else. But if a chief minister in a jail, can his responsibility will be given to somebody else? I'm saying this party is constitutionally illiterate, knows nothing. And if they insist on this is not the end of it. They have even gone to the extent of saying that they will go to the court and pray to the court that please allow the chief minister to hold a cabinet meeting in jail. But how bizarre you can, how ludicrous you can be. At least in last 2 decades, I've never heard a statement so bizarre. It is so bad. But the fact of the matter is, sycophancy has gone so much in the heads of these Aam Aadmi Party MLAs, the leaders, that they can't find anything. I'm not here to believe that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has forced them to say what they said. This is a sycophancy of highest order. And if this is the level of these MLAs, these leaders, then what do you expect from them in terms of governance? If they insist on this, I'm dead sure that LG will not have any other option than to sack the government or dissolve the assembly and invoke Article 356. Let's talk about Nitish Kumar. Who has given him the tag of Sushashan Babu? BJP, nobody else. So these politicians, they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. So how can you speak something like this on the floor of the assembly? If you're saying something like this and you're being such a senior politician and you claim to wanted to become the prime minister of the country, then I'm really amazed. But then how can you blame only Nitish Kumar? Here was the prime minister who 8 years back has said Shashi Kumar's partner को क्या बोला था? सबको मालूम है, 40 करोड़ की गर्लफ्रेंड. तो हमाम में सारे नंगे हैं. कोई ऐसा नहीं है जो हमाम में नंगा ना हो. And about corruption, G.V.L. Narasimha remembers Lalu Prasad Yadav. Has he forgotten Bangaru Lakshman? Has he forgotten Dilip Singh Jude? Both of them were caught on camera accepting money. So, but G.V.L. Narasimha Rao will not talk about Bangaru Lakshman and Dilip Singh Jude, but only talk about Lalu Prasad Yadav. So let's not get into this. The whole the political is muddy and everybody is hamam mein nanga.
So I'll say it. You want to come in?
Yes, before Ravi and Karan come in, I want to take off from where everyone normally speaks, including my good friend Ashutosh. We cannot condone present-day corruption by harking to the past, saying, "Bhai, past mein bhi hua hai." Yes, hua hai. Does this country need to move forward, or will we continue to do whataboutery? And I'm not saying this with reference to any party. I think we need to come to this inflection point of re-examining the morality with which this country will be governed. To constantly say, "Bhai, aapne bhi ye kiya, unhone bhi ye kiya," what is happening then is aap logon ko gumrah kar rahe ho. Ashutosh raised a very important point about the responsibility in leadership. It's not about Kejriwal or his sycophants or, a Rabri Devi kind of situation arising. Kejriwal came with only one agenda, His agenda was that I am different from the rest. Today, he is as colored, as tainted, as similar to everyone else. But that's his problem. The problem with we as citizens have is we cannot have elected leaders mock criminality by saying, "Theek hai, jail chale jayenge." But they are not fighting for anyone's freedom. Number two, to be callous about governance and saying we will work from jail, we will have cabinet meetings in jail. Is this the example and the role model you want to create out of governance? That's my limited point.
Ravi,
whether you say for tokenism is another matter. But do you really need to speak like this in an irresponsible way?
Ravi Srivastava, please respond. Because we're a city, we are a state which requires several issues to be addressed. What is being addressed? Today, the Supreme Court has also taken a view on just the small issue,
Navika.
not small, but the issue of pollution, saying Punjab bhi aapka, Delhi bhi aapka, aap kar kya rahe ho? And what are we hearing? We are hearing we'll run the government from the jail. Is this the example of a different kind of politics?
Navika, I'll go in the order which your ticker is playing. Say Nitish Kumar, I don't approve his misogynistic comment and absolutely incorrect. But the fact remains is he's talking only about the theory and my BJP leaders are doing the practical. Whether it is Ram Rahim, they're supported by ML Khattar, having the charge of rape and a murder, both convicted in the jail. We have got a Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh who was checking the pulse of the lady athletes. I don't know from where he was putting his hands. There we have got a Chinmay Anand who was raping his own student over there.
No, how do you make such a statement, Ravi Srivastava? How do you make such a statement about a lady? I don't know, how do you make such a statement about a lady? You know, it's objectionable. Just the manner in which
What did I say wrong? What did I say wrong? He told to the police, I was checking the pulse. He told to the police.
And you went a step further, Mr. Ravi Srivastava. You are Nitish Kumar number 2 tonight. You are Nitish Kumar number 2 in the manner in which you are expressing it. I don't know about your dignity, but those women you are talking about, they have some dignity.
Into my mouth, as many you can. This is a part of the police charge sheet. The part of the police charge sheet. It's not I'm saying it. Now I come to Mr.
Ashutosh.
Kejriwal.
No. Let's resolve this issue. Ashutosh, the part of the police charge sheet is that he was testing the pulse. Was the phrase that was used by Ravi Srivastava used in the charge sheet, or is it a misogynistic comment? Is it a graphically vulgar comment to make about those athletes who had some dignity?
I did not make any misogynistic.
1 minute. Please hold on. Ashutosh, be the arbiter today.
No, I think Raviji should have avoided those comments. I think those are not acceptable these are not acceptable.
You can't speak in such a vulgar manner, Ravi Srivastava, and therefore I have no hesitation in calling you Nitish Kumar number 2 today in the manner in which you expressed.
I only said what he was checking.
No, you can take Bhushan, whoever his name is, you can take him to the cleaners. I don't care a damn about that, but you cannot use the words that you use, Mr. Ravi Srivastava.
What did I use? I said he was checking the pulse. Where he was checking, I don't know.
Well, you know, if somebody wants to play innocent, I have no time and mind space for people who say things and then want to pretend to be innocent. But Karan Verma, I want to ask you, and this is a serious question. When chief ministers, wannabe prime ministers, wannabe conveners of the opposition bloc, which has some 38 parties, when they make statements like this, when a chief minister who stood and put out accusations against every politician, every industrialist in this country and said that they should all resign, they should all be in jail, no proof needed, they should move away till such time that they are proved innocent, when that person actually puts on the table his cards that he will sit in jail and run the state, what do people of India think? And what is their choice in this so-called clean politics? protection of the Constitution of India?
Absolutely. Navika ji, when I think of Kejriwal saying that I will run this from the jail, all I can say is if Delhi governance be the theatre of the absurd, this indeed could be the finale of it. Because come to think of it, what else do Delhiites need to see? They've seen health crisis, they've seen water crisis, they've seen oxygen crisis, they can't breathe the air that they are breathing. We've seen liquor crisis, we've seen tainted ministers. What else is left for Delhi to see? We've seen Sheesh Mahal, Kejriwal living in a Sheesh Mahal. Let's move away from Delhi. What do we have in Rajasthan? Rajasthan under Gehlot ji tops the ratings in crime against women. It tops unemployment. I mean, where do people go? Then they go to Karnataka. They see a DK Shiv Kumar say, we don't have enough funds for development this year. Look at Himachal Pradesh. They are trying to implement the old pension scheme and they are not able to pay the salaries of the government employees. So where does a voter go? At the end of the day, the voter needs something. Today, our voter is transactional in nature. Yes, they are emotionally attached, but they are also very wise. So they want to know who is going to deliver for them, who is going to make giant strides into 6G, who is going to bring the semiconductors in our country, who is going to march towards a 5 trillion and later a 10 trillion economy. These are serious challenges. Who is going to maneuver our ship in these turbulent foreign times? We need a foreign minister like S.J. Shankar. We need someone like Mr. Gadkari who's delivered on his promises of infrastructure. We need someone like Ajit Doval. So it comes to this. People are going to... Can you please keep quiet? Can you please keep quiet? Can you please ask this misogynistic gentleman to keep quiet, please?
Given the grace by
Can you please keep quiet? Can you please keep quiet? So people today, Navika ji, need governance doesn't happen in vacuum. They need deliverables. They need a track record who's delivered.
80 crore.
Look at him. Now look at him.
Ravi Srivastava.
Nobody's talking to you, Ravi ji. You first apologize
for you as an Aam Aadmi Party supporter. Just look at the AQI today and give us a response on the AQI, and then we will look at the number of poor below the poverty line. Well, Ravi Srivastava ji.
They could not clean Yamuna. Where is the biodecomposer? Where is the smoke tower? You have delivered nothing.
All indexes
nothing you've done, and you have the audacity to give sermons here. Navika ji, none of them have come up with a vision. None of them. All they can come up with is a caste census somewhere or eradication of Satta. That's all.
1 minute. Order on the panel.
None of them have come up with a
I want to ask, in the end, I want to ask Suhail Seth. Suhail Seth, the question here simply is, do your politics. People of this country are not interested in what you call each other. You make any charges against each other. At the end of the day, there are some red lines, or have we forgotten those red lines? Running a government from a jail, is that acceptable, yes or no?
Obviously not. But what's worse is what you identified. We are today in the national capital region of Delhi. It's run by a political party where the political party in the last avatar blamed another neighboring state. I'm not even getting to the politics. The Aam Aadmi is actually the big sufferer, the daily wage worker. Real estate and construction sectors are the biggest employers. Today, they've been ground to a standstill. Schools are shut. Daily wages can't earn their income. What kind of a capital are we building? Is this the country that you really want to showcase? Is this the country you want to showcase?
Is this going to come down to the lowest common denominator, whatever your ideology, whatever your political party, whatever your political competition?
Navika, let me tell you this. I'm glad we are talking about pollution and environment. But can anybody here from the BJP tell me, what has this government really done on climate change? Do we know that on the environmental protection index, it comes
GVL Narasimha Rao. I gave up. GVL Narasimha Rao, 30 seconds, I'm completely out of time. Pollution की बात मत करिए, running governments from jail की बात मत करिए, नीतीश कुमार की बात मत करिए, India Alliance की बात मत करिए, climate change की बात करिए. जवाब दीजिए.
India but even on climate change, this government has a lot to its credit. The whole world, it was Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi who has actually who has highlighted the importance of renewable energy, the International Solar Alliance. International Solar Alliance is an initiative of the Prime Minister.
Ladies and gentlemen, direct questions, and this is what politicians want to deflect it to. I just want to say one thing. It is actually the power of the people of India that will have to play a role. And the power of the people of India is to decide what their priorities are and who can fulfill those priorities. Will it be those who make misogynistic and vulgar statements and still aspire to be the Prime Minister of this country? Or will it be those who promise to run governments from jails? It's a decision people of India will have to take. And that's going to shape the future of this country. We leave it at that. Thank you very much to all my guests for joining me on debate number 1.